Good morning to you. I'm Danilo Evangelista, and welcome to our tropical weather outlook video for today, Sunday, August 3rd, 2025. On today's tropical weather outlook, the Atlantic is already beginning to ramp up, as you can see by the title card. And as you can see by the National Hurricane Center homepage this morning, we have two areas of interest now in the Atlantic. And as I've been saying all along, as we were going to head into the month of August, things were going to start getting more active in the Atlantic. First of all, off the East Coast here, we have Invest 95L. And this has a moderate chance of development now. It's about a 50-50 coin flip chance that this might actually continue to develop and become a tropical system off the East Coast here. And we might get our next named storm in the Atlantic, Dexter, very soon. And then we have this humongous area of interest here out in the eastern Atlantic. And this is associated with that tropical wave that I've been showing you that the models were hinting at for the last several days here in the MDR. Now it has made its way onto the tropical weather bulletin by the National Hurricane Center. And this wave is definitely something that is worth watching, and I'll show you the models in just a little bit, but we're definitely going to have to watch this wave out here in the eastern Atlantic. And all of this is once again a part of the Atlantic, as I've been saying, becoming more active, especially the deep tropics beginning to ramp up as we head into the month of August, and we are definitely starting to see the signs of that actually coming to fruition. Meanwhile, though, in the Eastern Pacific, things still remain very active right now. We have Tropical Storm Gil, which continues to weaken today. Maximum sustained winds right now are at 60 miles per hour, minimum central pressure at 1,000 millibars. This became a hurricane yesterday morning or overnight yesterday, Friday night. But now it's weakening and it'll probably become a post-tropical system later today. We have Invest 90E here in the Pacific. This has a 90% chance of development. This will probably become another named storm in the Pacific. And then we have another area of interest out here just off the coast of Mexico. This is probably going to move parallel to the Mexican coast, but this will be obviously closer to the Mexican coast than these other areas of interest. So we'll monitor this one over the next several days. But so far, at least according to the models right now, no direct impacts to land in the Pacific, which is obviously a good thing. And let's start off with a satellite image of the Pacific really quickly, just to get it out of the way. And you can see here still lots of activity going on in the Pacific. Things still chugging along right now pretty strongly. We have Tropical Storm Gil here, which you could see in the northwestern portion of the satellite loop, and obviously Gil is continuing to degrade. No longer has that round CDO look like it had a few days ago. Well, it kind of was always messy looking, but you could definitely see that it is in the process of weakening. Definitely doesn't look really like a tropical system anymore, and it's going to continue to move on out to the west-northwest and probably become a non-tropical system later today. And then here in the Eastern Pacific, back to the west, back to the east here, this is 90E, I believe, and you could definitely see coming along nicely, but still has to organize a little bit more. There's some convective activity right now that's trying to fire with 90E. So it still has a little bit of work left to go, but this is probably on its way to becoming another tropical system here in the Pacific. And then we still have lots of convective activity here throughout the Eastern Pacific, and definitely a lot of energy, which will probably also help in something else trying to develop here in the Pacific as well. Once again, as I've been saying for the last several days, we're probably going to get another 2 or so named storms here in the Pacific before things begin to quiet down. And conversely, in the Atlantic, things will probably begin to ramp up. You could see the Eastern Atlantic still kind of, on the drier side, not as favorable right now, but I honestly feel like you could already start seeing things. You're already starting to see the pattern shift, especially in the Western Atlantic. We have a really, really nice tropical wave here just north of the islands, producing lots of convection this morning. And this was actually, by the way, the wave, if you remember, a week or so ago that the models were showing coming off the coast of Africa and potentially developing, but obviously it's not developing right now, but certainly has a lot of convection active with it right now. And then obviously off the East Coast here, we have 95L, which there I'll zoom in on now. And you can see definitely coming along nicely this morning. We have lots of convective bursts right now associated with this system ongoing right now. And also almost starting to see a little bit of a banding structure with 95L as well. This is up to a moderate chance of development, so it's getting there. And if this continues to organize the way it is right now, it definitely is not far off from becoming a tropical system. In fact, at this point, I would not be surprised if it actually does indeed develop. And I'll show you with the 850 millibar vorticity, has a pretty nice, decent vorticity signature associated with it. Obviously, still needs to organize a little bit more, but it has a lot of vorticity with it. Just needs to break off from the front that is kind of attached to right now, that is moving off the East Coast, which is resulting in the development of 95L here. But the vorticity signature is decent. Probably still needs to close off though, and again, would not be surprised if this develops in the next few days here as it continues to move off the East Coast. And we'll probably get our next named storm, Dexter, in the Atlantic here very shortly. And a reason as to why that is probably going to happen, just take a look at the sea surface temperature anomalies here off the East Coast. Very, very warm, so there's more than enough of a supply of energy in the ocean for potential development. So we won't have to deal with sea surface temperatures being an issue. And really, that won't be an issue for the entire Atlantic, really, through the Gulf, especially the Gulf of Mexico, the Caribbean, and even through the MDR right now. Sea surface temperature anomalies are much above normal, and we are now into August, and that is the case. And that is probably going to really help kick things into higher gear here in the Atlantic, as I'm going to show you, might be beginning very soon. So keep that in mind. And then obviously, of course, in the Pacific, we have cooler ENSO out here, cool neutral right now with these cooler than normal sea surface temperature anomalies along the equatorial Pacific, although not quite La Nina yet, which is why I say cool neutral. And then we obviously have the negative PDO here with these cooler sea surface temperatures anomalies just off the coasts of the United States and the Baja, Mexico. So all of this is combining to pretty much say that the Pacific has a less favorable look, and definitely the Atlantic has a more favorable look, and that's again going to help things kick into higher gear, especially as we continue throughout the month of August here in the Atlantic. And at least in terms of 95L developing off the East Coast, certainly will have the energy and the means to be able to do so. All right, so here's a look at the GFS model, and I want to show you here what happens with 95L. Then I'm going to take you through the rest of the run to show you what also happens here in the Atlantic. And you notice, at least over the next day or so, 95L definitely develops, becomes a decent tropical storm just off the East Coast, although luckily this will probably remain moving to the northeast, so no direct threats to the East Coast with 95L. But it definitely looks decent enough, at least on the model here. You could definitely see that it develops and becomes a tropical system. And then very interestingly enough, the GFSs show this. Some other low pressure actually moves off the East Coast and also breaks off from this sort of frontal system that we have here, which is allowing for 95L to happen. Another low pressure comes off and also tries to develop here around 4 to 5 days out, and that impacts the Carolinas. And then you notice as we start to get into the end of next week, as we start to get into the 5 to 7 day time frame, you notice here a wave comes in the MDR and tries to consolidate and actually becomes a tropical system here in the MDR. And then a week out, we have a tropical storm being indicated on the GFS model here in the MDR. And I'll show you with the Euro as well. They also have it. This is both the Euro and the GFS model. The Euro, by the way, shows 95L developing off the East Coast here, so pretty certain that we'll probably see development out of 95L. They also show the piece of energy here off the East Coast, but they also show as well something trying to get going here in the MDR around 5 to 7 days out. And especially when you look at the Euro ensembles, they definitely hint at that. I mean, I guess it was enough that we've had a lot of these, that the Euro models just got more and more aggressive, that obviously we now have an area of interest out here in the MDR, per the National Hurricane Center, but quite the aggressive look to the European ensembles here coming out of the MDR. And when it has the backing of both the operational and the ensemble members, you definitely know that there is a signal that we need to pay attention to. And this once again occurs roughly around 5 to 7 days out. In terms of actual, trying to make out the track of what this wave might potentially be, because there's already a lot of speculation about it, because yesterday a lot of the ensembles were a lot further west, and now today there's a huge spread in the European ensembles about, is it going to go out to sea, is there going to be a cutoff low that develops and weakens the ridge that's along the east coast here, which you could actually see there is a pretty decent ridge along the east coast. So will that affect it in any way and potentially try to bend it back to the west, or will this be able to go out to sea? That's all 5 to 7 days out, or really 5 to 10 days out, meaning that it's really too early to tell what the exact track of whatever happens here will be. But I'm just bringing this all up to show you that the signal is there. We're going to have to pay attention to the Atlantic, especially the deep tropics, as we head into the next week. And I've been warning about this, that things were going to start getting more active in the Atlantic as we, come on into the month of August. And we are definitely seeing that already come to fruition. And believe me, it is only going to get more active from here on out. With that being said, though, I'm going to end it off for today's video. Obviously, we're going to continue to watch 95L as it'll probably develop. So if anything else happens with that, I'll definitely post another update on that. And of course, over the next several days here, we'll be monitoring what happens in the Atlantic, in the MDR. And please be sure to subscribe to my channel, especially if you are new and you like these videos and you haven't already subscribed, because again, we're going to be with these videos every single day going on what's happening in the tropics. So please, if you've not subscribed already, take the time to do so. Like this video, of course, if you like what you saw today, and share this video as well with family and friends and anybody who you think might find this type of content interesting. I'm pretty sure there are definitely quite a few people out there who do. Thanks for watching today. Enjoy the rest of your day, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and of course, enjoy the rest of your Sunday afternoon, or, the rest of the morning, since the morning is not done yet. Peace, love, and kindness to you all. I'll be back with more later.